Welcome back to the World Championship playoff. We are here with the last match, the third and fourth playoff within the playoff, to find out who the last duelist will be qualifying for the World Championship. It's an amazing and thrilling match we're gonna see, and it's the one between Dinh-Kha and his Labyrinth deck and Sophiane with his branded deck. France against Germany. Amazing stuff, honestly.
This is the heartbreak matchup because they've both just come off the back of losing that world spot.
Yeah.
And they get their second chance, and it's
the
emotions
I
can't imagine.
Unfortunately, only 3 can go, and one of them will have to lose. I guess the only positive thing is they still get the VIP privileges, I guess. So regardless, they can play at the main event with 2 buys, so they can get some extra sleep, I guess, tomorrow in the day. And then
you get to sleep in.
I'm trying. I mean, but regardless, it's gonna be an amazing match. Obviously, they both still had to make it X1 in a field with the top 32 best players in Europe, and yeah, that's no easy task at all. But now they gotta focus with a huge crowd watching them play, and it all comes down to this last match. I think our duelists are ready, so let's find out who will be the winner of Game 1.
I think no matter what happens and what the outcome is, regardless, both players should be extremely proud of their success and how well they've played, and just to get this far after such a long grind and coming out into the third place playoff for this game.
Totally agree, and it seems like it will be Sophiane going first. As you were mentioning briefly before the match, it's obviously not really the gimme puppet line that you want to go for this specific matchup, but there is a card that we have not yet seen, that is the Dark Magician going into the Dragoon in this deck. That's an option, and it seems like it would be a really good one. So
yeah, we were actually discussing just before this if, you know, Sophiane likely should not be really going for the Puppet Lock in this matchup. Doesn't seem like the strongest play ever. Instead, I think Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, as you mentioned, is an extremely powerful win condition as a untargetable monster that can boost its attack up, and it's going to be very difficult to out.
Tough, yeah.
All right, here is Branded Fusion. Best card you want to see starting off here, and it looks like we're going for the Tragedy as we go into a Dark first.
Yeah, what you need to do is probably something along the line of resolving somehow a skill drain, or like the Daruma maybe, those kind of cards. It's the only way that you can manage maybe to out it in Game 1. But when the deck goes first, as we can see here, and it has access to the fusion, it can obviously do a lot. And yeah, the creativity is where this will see. And Sophiane has been proving to know the deck in and out pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, I think he's shown really, you know, amazing mastery over this deck. Even has the fusion deployment here to go for further pushes in place, so he should be able to set up a decent, you know, first turn here. And I guess it's just a question of, you know, naturally when you play against like pretty much every deck, you go for like a, you know, the standard line of like Jade and like a Pop or something like that. But in this matchup, I wonder if he will identify the power of Dragoon.
Yeah, it seems like Dragoon and Chimera are really, Guardian Chimera are his best friends in this matchup, which kind of bring the deck back to what Brandon did 2 years ago.
He's playing old school.
Last year, yeah, pretty much. So, but it makes sense. Sometimes you really need to adapt to what you're facing. So.
Yep, and it's a good point there as we go into another fusion play with the Cartesia. And Branded Lost has been established as well. There's the Guanguinol.
Let's see if we are actually going to go for the Dragoon line or more of a standard play.
Guanguinol sends any monster from your deck to the grave above level 6, as we are indeed going to send Albion.
Yeah, he's going to search first with the Lost, I feel like, and then he's gonna send something, but yeah, it's gonna be from extra, I feel. So
okay, sends the Albion for the Guanguinol effect, and Lost searches the Shrouded Dragon.
Can send the Retribution or any of his other cards. And yeah, it's gonna be the retribution to get a draw.
Wonder how many times he's had his branded fusion ashed up until this point, I think, to get this far. Maybe he's been on the higher end of that dice roll, or that coin flip, rather.
In the other semi-final, 3 times. That's what I can tell you. No wonder he lost, I guess. But yeah, this feels like a decent opening. As you mentioned, he's prioritizing what Branded used to do with the Branded in red into the Chimera to pop 2 cars, which makes sense. Honestly, you take this as a grind game, and you play around sphere mode by ending on this field.
Yeah. Which I think makes sense, especially because like seeing a Dinh-Kha boy strategy usually setting 4 and then risking the sphere mode doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's,
but once again, it seems like the decision to main deck 3 Heavenly Prison is working out, because even here it would play around the Guardian Chimera. So
yeah, it's an important card to have in this matchup specifically because of the protection effect from the destruction that Chimera can inflict. So definitely something you want to lead with here if you're Kha, but I don't think we've got anything just yet.
the strategy of passing does not work against Branded.
Yeah, that one is not going to help him out here. All right, so I think Sophiane is just still making plays here in the standby of Kha here. So this, okay, Prosperity is a very good card you want to see going first here. Gets a dig for 6.
Nice one. I don't think he's playing evenly in the main deck, right? So
No,
he
he's
doesn't.
not. Yeah,
gonna
that is
be
definitely a good card to have pull sight here, but that is a Daruma Cannon.
And there is
And the
also the
Lord.
Heavenly potentially, yeah. Could be a good one, to be fair. Yeah, and I agree. I think it's a really good pickup here. Prevents the Chimera, as mentioned. I might see just a set 5 alongside it. So. Oh, and Sophiane gotta read it.
Okay, maybe that's not a card we...
Okay.
Mercurier negates the protection effect. Now, how much does Dinh-Kha want to commit to setting here when we know that there's a locked and loaded Guardian Chimera ready to come down potentially?
And we have to say that this was quite unexpected. I think, honestly, it was Dinh-Kha was not expecting
Yeah,
this.
this really niche way to play around what's going on, and Arianna will come out resolving.
All right, we've got some engine here as well into the big welcome search, so it's a decent pickup here. But again, we need to find a way and a strategy to deal with this branded in red.
And yeah, we are just gonna start setting some cards. Hopefully as many as we can to play around the Chimera. Yeah. And now in the end phase,
4.
what can we do? I mean, I think you still go for it. You can go into the Jade. Obviously, you don't have access to like the ad libitum, which would have been really strong, but you gotta go for this. Yeah, and you can target the Tragedy, getting even an extra search, and chain the opening to get to the ad libitum. That's insane from Sophiane. Wow. As mentioned, he was really missing that piece of interaction. He gets rid of a Cartesia that will most likely return to the end, and this is really well played by Sophiane.
2 cards are being used from the field here as the branded opening special summon, so that means 2 pops rather than the 2 draws, as you can choose to manipulate that with the Guardian Chimera, and here is the all-important...
And this is crazy, because you get
these
so
chain links.
much advantage.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Basically,
5.
Yeah. You're gonna get the Mirror Jade back. You search for another card with the Lost. 1 for Tragedy and another draw. So that's
so
plus 6.
like, not bad for a single branded in red.
Decent enough.
Yeah, I mean that's always been like the great thing about branded. It seems like a very high ceiling, very like full powered deck. Just doesn't really have that sort of versatility, I think, that some of the other decks have offered, as we saw, for example, the incredible play by Gabriel in some of the previous matches with the For Hire deck. So this is, I suppose, one of the glass cannon sort of ways that you can interpret this card. And that's a big welcome.
And he's actually playing Chume Courier, which is also unusual, I guess.
Was that a? I think that was a Daruma cannon we hit with the second card. Can't even use it defensively to protect here.
And this is brutal, as mentioned. The Cartesia gets back to the end. Only 2 face-down cards from Dinh-Kha. This seems like it's gonna be an upfield battle to remain.
The Titaniclad getting a Quem out of the deck?
Yeah. Again, this is one of the reasons why Quem is amazing. It's also a Dogmatica card. You can get it with the Titaniclad.
All right, well, those last 2 set cards better be something to be able to save Dinh-Kha here, as we do have pretty much just game on the field here.
Yeah, we do. So the limitation of attacking directly from Binary Red only. Yeah.
Do you know what I just noticed?
Okay.
He has the sphere mode.
He's got sphere mode in his hand, and Sophiane played around it, you know, and unfortunately we cannot normal summon in the end phase. That's not going to work out.
Brilliantly played by Sophiane,
no,
I gotta
he's
say.
really mastered this deck.
Yeah. And there comes the Dragoon potentially, but at the same time, here, as you can see, he has access to it, even though he has 6 monsters already.
God, it's been so long. Remind me, does Dragoon destroy any card or monsters only?
No, it can destroy monsters depending on the number of,
the materials.
Yeah, but only monsters.
How long has it been since we've seen this this card really dominate with the Verte? It's been a while, but yep, we are indeed going to go for Lebellion, shuffling back.
Let's see if we're gonna see this.
Ooh, the
red card.
The other rarity of
there he goes, and there is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon making his first appearance this weekend, and well, this could be a quick one for Sophiane.
Controversial card among the player base is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but we're going to go straight to the battle phase here.
Yeah, like, you know.
Storming would be pretty good here.
Storming, yeah. It's like drowning Mirror Force even, yeah.
Welcome is negated by this discard.
Ooh!
Daruma Cannon!
Ooh!
Huge!
That's literally one of the best cards that could happen, but still.
Do you think it was a bit preemptive of Sophiane to negate the welcome? Maybe he just doesn't know Dinh-Kha has Daruma?
It's like, I mean, kinda, but at the same time...
Because he definitely did not think about that. He was just like, discard negate.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you know, he was feeling himself.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have taken more time, but at the same time, the big welcome in the grave would have been active, so he could have used that as a compulsory if that resolved, which might have been annoying for Sophiane.
But you were right. The one was destroyed previously, so that's why maybe it negated the...
Oh, right. So, so he must have drew double Daruma, and he maybe thought...
he had to. Yeah, so maybe...
So now
doesn't have it.
He can still flip a few, which obviously is someone last turn. But...
Yeah, you can flip these back up, you know, there's no need to keep
some
them face down.
Yeah.
He's not going to get 6 draws, unfortunately, like Eclipse would have you do.
Exactly, and this is exactly what's going on here. But now, that cheeky Sphere mode, although much less impactful, is in the end and can be used by Dinh-Kha next turn.
Yeah, so just noting that those last 2 monsters can't be flipped face up. And yeah, no, we talked about it before. Having an out to Dragoon in Labyrinth is actually pretty difficult. It's actually quite hard to handle. But as it's face down, or we can just tribute for cost, Sphere mode can actually come down here.
Pop it as well, so yeah.
Yeah, many ways to attack this field here, and Sophiane has definitely committed a lot, but Dinh-Kha is quite depleted on resources, admittedly. The negate of Dragoon did cost quite a lot there. Having to go for
here
the
we're
still playing.
Poly. Wow.
All right, going for more.
Makes sense.
Masquerade?
Might just be a Stapelia, which I'm not a big fan of, but I guess...
really does a lot in this matchup here.
No. Especially with the big welcoming grave that can act as a protection against it, I guess.
Yeah, Masquerade would be really good, you know, have your opponent pay some taxes for all of the effects that they play, but unfortunately doing no damage in the battle phase whatsoever is gonna not really be that useful
and I
here.
think nowadays you side the card instead of maining it often. And
oh yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, and I think that's the case as well for Sophiane. But yeah, Binary Red is back and he's picking up his cards. Yeah. Game 1 goes to Sophiane. Wow.
He played that really well,
Yeah.
I think, all
Yeah.
things considered. You know, as we saw
Absolutely.
the sphere mode in his hand. Still could have dropped it on this turn, but I suppose it wouldn't really amount to anything.
Yeah.
No, but I think he's showing us how powerful the deck is and how he's mastering it, honestly. So it's...
And now, obviously, the momentum of the match switches because while Sophiane just won a game, Dinh-Kha has lost 2 in a row because obviously he lost in the top 4 and now he's lost again. So obviously he must not be feeling himself too much, but still nothing is lost. You can totally make a comeback, and I'm sure Dinh-Kha is not the player who gets his nerve ahead of him. He has been here multiple times, at least in a different kind of stage, and he's gonna go first. First of all, bring in his cards, maybe Solemn. What else do you think he might side in?
I'm seeing this Bestial package here could be really clutch against Branded in red, but I don't think the Despia deck relies on Branded in red too much as it used to.
No,
although it is kind of important to stop Chimera.
I do think, as we saw here, it's really strong, but probably as I go in second card rather than I go first. What obviously we can see is the dimensional barrier, which can be easily searched by the lady, and with the clock you can get it on right away, and that's an amazing card, obviously, against any form of branded. And on the other end, though, Sophiane is probably the first duelist this weekend that is somewhat more prepared against Labyrinth, though.
Yeah, there's
a lot of
evenly
stuff.
matches here, is what I'm looking at.
And also the Cosmic Cyclones as well, which might
Circumvents
help him out a
protection of
lot.
Lord.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's the only player having at least 2 cards this powerful.
And in this case, he can side 5 with the Cosmics and evenly. And obviously, against this specific version of the deck, evenly is much better because they rely on a lot of traps. And that will be the case, but it seems as if our duelists are done shuffling up. Let's head into game 2.
So it's really impressive just how Sophiane's managed to build his side deck here. I think because of the way that the Runic matchups really work out, you're naturally going to be, putting in a lot of hate for them, and that sort of, catches Labyrinth in the crossfire with things like the Evenly and the Cosmic. So I think he's going to actually be pretty decently prepared for going second here.
I agree, absolutely. And worst case scenario, you can just do the same, playing around Sphere mode in game 3. So seems like he really took his time to study Dinh-Kha's strategy and try to adapt it. But here they are, the usual pyramid from Dinh-Kha. Let's see if he will be able to even the score 1-1 or not.
Yeah, this is a... Okay, Ariana,
Great
that's
start.
Yep, that's what you want to see. No triple super polymerization this time.
Yeah.
Is there like a really crazy super poly target specifically against branded?
I mean, first of all, it's an out to the Dragoon as well, which
that's
to be
important.
fair,
Yeah, that's really
important
good
to mention. But he's probably
yeah,
playing,
I think that's kind of what I was thinking about. Trifo Veritum. It's
that's
the
a crazy
Predaplan.
one. Yeah, you can use 3 darks, right?
Three darks, right? Yeah.
Something like the update. Oh, and there is a clock right away. Wow. So he's actually gonna go for a somewhat of a combo, if that's what we can call it, which is interesting. But he did hard draw the Lovely, I think, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it came out of the hand.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna snipe something here.
Let's see what that is. It's a good one opening. But definitely an interesting start. Unfortunately, drawing the Lovely. You really want to have it in deck if you want to go for this opening, but it's a decent one.
All right, branded opening is a very important key piece here, but hey, at least there wasn't branded fusion.
Imagine if that was, Tragedy or the Edge Imp, I guess.
Ooh, okay, Dinh-Kha's going for this in the standby phase.
You're thinking what I'm thinking? I don't know.
All right, okay.
He's probably just going for another pop and that's it, I guess.
All right, yes, the returning of the Fiend Monster to the hand here, triggering the Lovely to try and attempt to hit more cards out of the hand here. Ooh.
Okay. Nice interaction here. Gonna change Magnamut to get something on the board. And no, at the same time, once he gets to the field, I mean, it kind of makes the Lovely better as well, right? It's a weird one. Ooh, and it's an evenly matched.
Okay, to be fair, that might not have done too much in this this particular turn here. How do you feel about the Bestials here?
I think it's really lucky, I gotta say, that he's able to resolve one. Because literally, like the clock is literally the only card that would be in the graveyard turn one, and he's playing one, and that's it.
That's
maybe he just thought that I think I was playing the Stovies, you know. I don't know. That's the only thing.
Yeah, not exactly the card you would probably think of as an amazing side option versus Labyrinth.
Oh, and the rest of the end looked like Super Poly and another spell, which I'm not sure what that was.
Okay, so Fusion Deployment is being deployed to get a Cartesia. Alright, he's weighing up his options here, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's really debating. I mean, even Albats would be decent depending on the last card set, but it seems like he's going for Cartesia, yeah. No, changed his mind. Yep.
Rindbrum is instead the target of reveal here.
Changed his mind at the very last second and went for Albas. Aggressive. But this can get punished by so many drops from Dinh-Kha.
Yeah. It's a big heavy cost here to discard as well. And
wow,
chain super polymerization.
Wow. This is huge. Huge stuff from Dinh-Kha. Obviously, that cannot resolve. And
is that a Furious Dragon?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yes. Okay, we have a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer style card here.
Wow.
And, you know, that discard cost that you mentioned is super punished here. Super Polymerization clearing Sophiane's field, and of course the Albaz was activated, but it won't fuse as it's no longer in your control.
Funny enough, we could see just moving it to the end phase, searching the other Bestial, and then using his own copy of Super Polymerization afterwards, you know?
Okay.
So like, or even just setting it, you know, he can use it right away, I think, because otherwise...
Yeah,
otherwise he loses it to the border load. So I think that might be the case. Yeah. I think you get the Druid Swarm and then you just go for Super Poly here.
Oh, searches the Shrouded Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, it can search any dragon, I suppose, here.
He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't use the Super Poly.
Wow.
He could be in risk of getting OTK'd, maybe? No, right? We don't have any set cards. We can't OTK.
No, because he has Ariane, no? Does he not all?
Oh, yeah, he normal.
That's easy in the game.
Yeah, that was the bounce
So
there.
why would you not go for Super Poly? Wow. I don't, because, I mean, if you don't go for Super Poly, you would search the Druid Swarm.
Maybe he just didn't see the line?
No, he's not playing Druid Swarm.
Oh, okay, just okay. But even then, I think you always go for Super Poly. Yeah, maybe he just didn't see the line, I guess. But it seems as if Dinh-Kha really found his way.
He's got a lot of cards that he can bring in for this matchup, and brought in the Bestials, I suppose, maybe just because there's a lot of dead cards in his main deck that I'm noticing from Sophiane.
As you can see here, he's gonna go for the Mac Cracker, bring back the lady just by discarding a card, since the Druid Swarm was not there, and this is easily game. I think we are heading into game 3, most likely. Gonna be a battle phase, and that's it, 1-1. Unexpected ending, I gotta say, to this game, with the Super Polymerization not used by what looked as if could have been a game of just Super Poly's the last, but like, yeah. At the end, I mean, you gotta just keep composure. Finally, Dinh-Kha winning a game again, and now it all comes down to one game to find out who goes to the World Championship.
One last duel, this is it. Both players are in that spot to try and go to Japan for the World Championship, and it's the last game. I think they're probably both quite settled into this match at this point. They're, you know, very likely just completely focused on this. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one, and it's all to play for. Sophiane does get to go first, and I feel like, you know, with that crazy setup of his we saw in game 1, he might be slightly favored if we're talking purely in terms of
especially because he proved that he can play around the sphere mode successfully, and he has even some decent cards. I really would hope that he doesn't keep those Bestials in, but maybe, I mean, that's working out for him. On the other end, though, I might assume that Dinh-Kha is going to side in, obviously, the 3 copies of Ash Blossom, his own 4 Bestials, which are much better than his opponents, and maybe the Kaijus, because if you expect your opponent to open up with them, maybe it's decent, but
do you think if you recognize that your opponent is playing around sphere mode that you just
Yeah, I would cut them out.
Yeah.
I think so as well. Like, you have played on stream multiple times. Your opponent knows that you play Sphere Mode. One thing is, you know, the matchup against Gabriel when they cannot choose to play around it, but something like this, it literally happened in game 1.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely something that Dinh-Kha
Although we
should
didn't reveal
consider.
it, to be fair, but I would assume by now he's
No, but
most
like,
likely aware of it. Yep.
He just showed it multiple times on stream throughout the weekend and even this, the previous semi-final. So that's why everybody knows that he's playing Sphere Mode now. So without further ado, I think we have one more game to show you guys to find out who is gonna join Jonas Koschel and Gabriel Susi at the World Championship in Tokyo. Let's go to game 3.
So we mentioned a little bit about how powerful the branded setup is turn 1, specifically against you know, either a combo deck with the Gimmick Puppet Lock, or even in this matchup with the versatility to be able to adapt and instead go for the multiple destruction effects on the spell and trap cards.
Let's see, and let's see especially if there is an Ash Blossom from Dinh-Kha's side. Starting thing off with Fusion Deployment.
All right. That is step 1 of Sophiane's plan here, going for the Guanguinol, and that will be getting Cartesia out of the deck here. And now it's the all-important, can we get to Branded Fusion?
Aluber time, always great way to play against around Impermanence or Veiler.
If he searches opening here, I'm going to be... okay, all right, it's not that crazy of a start. Okay, okay. Just Branded Fusion going...
Ooh,
Patchwork.
but this is huge. Patchwork.
What a start, honestly.
Amazing opening. Really important to Ash this Branded Fusion, but still the setup is really strong regardless, even if you get Ashed.
Yeah, that's one of the ways that people have adapted to play around the Ash Blossoms by
and
having
even
this
the
here.
Albion, yeah. This is a crazy start.
All right, we've got a lot of gas here, so not looking too bad at all on Sophiane's side. Sends that Retribution.
Let's see if Dinh-Kha has anything.
So some of the you know, main kind of talking points about Branded in the community sometimes can be just about the consistency of the deck.
Let's see.
But
no response, no Ash Blossom. Wow.
Yeah, this is a dream opening here. So, you know, the consistency of Branded can sometimes fall apart, you know, with things like the Ash Blossom, or even sometimes you just don't get to the engine piece that allows you to resolve it. But Sophiane has managed to pull together for this whole weekend here, and yeah, we're this far, and it's time to see what he chooses to go for here. He's actually weighing up his choices quite heavily here, and of course, why wouldn't you? 22 minutes left on the clock. You're in game 3. Every single play now has to be made to absolute perfection.
Yeah, that's right. And also, I think with no Ash Blossom being activated now, Dinh-Kha is relying either on his Sphere Modes or Super Polymerization.
Yeah, and once again, I'm betting that Sophiane will play around the Sphere Mode.
So resolving the full chain here, the Libellion as Chain Link 1. Tragedy going to get a search for any Despia also goes for the Ad Libitum. Could be seeing a very similar setup to how we had in turn 1.
Yep.
We're shuffling away into Mirror Jade.
And we could actually just see this as in game 1 with just the Grand Guignol plus Mirror Jade, and that's it. At the same time, though, Dinh-Kha has Bestials, so we should consider that maybe there is a Bestial there. That would be nice. And yeah, I think Sophiane might just pass, just like in game 1. Once he, you know, he has access to his red. Yeah, I think this makes sense. You just play safe, play around the Sphere Mode, grind it out. Why not? Obviously, the Lost makes a big difference, because that...
Yeah, you get a lot of advantage off the Lost, especially when you can search the draw of the Shrouded Dragon or even the negate of the Mercurier.
No Bestials, though, from Dinh-Kha, it seems, at least for now. Usually you would use them right here to just prevent the red at all, but maybe he's holding into them. And obviously, you can still top deck them, and they're going to be fine against the red.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful ways of siding is having cards that are good to draw.
I agree.
Because sometimes,
Sixth,
sometimes having a card that you see as your sixth can be really frustrating.
Absolutely. And yeah, Dinh-Kha just checking what he's gonna be up against and picks up what could be the last card that he picks up this playoff.
Yeah, it's really just down to this turn here. And we've seen Sophiane set it up pretty well, similar to game one. And it is Dinh-Kha's prerogative now to try and do something about this field.
Sophiane came prepared to this playoff with a plan in mind on how to beat Dinh-Kha. Only time will tell whether the plan was good enough. And I might see a super poly, and there it is! Super polymerization from Dinh-Kha.
Oh, he's hard drawn the lovely
Again, yeah.
That is frustrating, but Super Poly is still going to put in a decent amount of work here.
It's actually really, really nice because what this does is you cannot Chimera.
Yeah.
You have no monsters on field.
Yeah, so no Chimera, but just a battle phase and pass here, or rather main phase 2, we'll see. Come up here and just how many cards we're going to set alongside this Stapelia. Yeah, as you mentioned, the cutting off of the branded in red was absolutely important.
And we see the evenly as well. How many cards is he gonna set? This could be a perfect opener. One, two, and three
set
cards. What a start from Dinh-Kha.
Three cards set to protect after clearing a extremely difficult to clear field here, but not too much of an issue for Kha with the super polymerization and the Heavenly Lord.
Yeah. Seems like play might be back soon to Sophiane, who can pop the Stapelia.
Favor has swung back into Dinh-Kha's court here, I think. He's probably feeling quite good now.
Gonna destroy the Stapelia, does not activate the red during the end phase. Interesting. He just wants to keep it for the Chimera.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really important way to potentially try and dodge like a skill drain maybe with the Brandon Red as you fuse off something that's triggering potentially. Could be using it as that type of...
And we start with another deployment here.
All right, not too bad. I think we got the Retribution and Branded Fusion in the graveyard as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. So the setup is there. He also has the Tragedy, which can do pretty much the same thing as Retribution. So we are gonna see an Albaz here.
All right, Albaz is special summoned. The Retribution looks like... No.
Special the Cartesia, for example. Let's see.
Yeah, Cartesia added back to the hand in the end phase. The resource loop that she allows you to obtain in this deck is extremely powerful and exactly how you want to play out this kind of matchup with the grind game that you've mentioned to us.
Let's see. It seems like he wants to activate a spell instead. But no, changes his mind and goes for the Cartesia here. Is there a response from Dinh-Kha?
So there's...
Oh, and skill drain, as mentioned.
Yeah, that's a great card to have going second in this matchup. Specifically being used before Cartesia hits the field, just in case we're trying to quickly fuse off there.
Let's see if he's gonna use the Lord or he's gonna just keep it for a next activation of a trap. Seems like he's gonna keep it.
No Cosmic Cyclone for Sophiane as well, so...
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, how he was siding it and has not appeared to have picked it up.
But as you mentioned, he just moves to the battle phase, attacking with the Albaz. There are ways to play around skill drain, especially with the red, so he can still maneuver this and find a way. He's also using his own copies of Super Poly, by the way, which can be really useful in this matchup, and another way to play around the skill drain. So,
yeah, not too bad of a situation here, but question is, did we maybe cut the Super Polymerization's pull siding? I'd say you probably want to keep it in, right? There's a lot of dark targets in this matchup.
If you kept Bestials in, I feel like you might as well keep those in,
All right, does not retrieve the Branded Fusion.
Yeah, I mean, did he play it a little too passively? He might have just passed back.
Yeah, we've already had our battle phase. So
Whoa, and there is the
big
big welcome too. Is there an Ash from Sophiane? No.
You think there's a reason that you don't big welcome in the battle phase to protect your life points a little?
I mean,
I suppose playing around super polymerization is
I think
what that
Super Poly
affects,
is
right?
Again, the main reason.
So having this come out in the end phase is extremely important.
So much advantage now, because you can resolve again the Lord, set anything from the deck. And was that really all that Sophiane could have done?
Definitely feels like there was a lot more gas in the tank there.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
maybe that skill drain is just being a little bit more intimidating towards him.
But I mean, even if you just gotta play it out and try to at least OTK your opponent, I feel like. But as we can see here, the Lord is gonna activate special summoning itself and setting any spell or trap. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm generally curious to see what you would really want to go for here. I mean, you could go for some more welcomes, but in terms of being able to set any spell and trap from your deck.
You can even go barrier. You can go for anything, really.
Yeah,
you can do so much.
In this matchup, it's really all up to you, really. Yeah, it looks like he's going for a welcome there just to try and mount more pressure.
But another big welcome, interesting.
Okay.
Because on the one end, when he goes for Ariana next turn, if he uses the effect, it's forced to use the big welcome effect in Grave to bounce it back. So that means that he cannot use both effects of big welcome in the same turn.
I think Sophiane might be considering some options here in the end phase. Not really too sure what there is to do under skill drain just in the end phase. That's the thing.
Yeah. The red right here, wow. Surprised about this.
Looks like the Tragedy is our target of choice right now.
Yeah, with the Ad Libitum in hand, this can lead to Mirror Jade coming back, but he's gonna chain the opening to this. Probably discarding Poly, okay. So last card in hand should be that Libitum, and now we are gonna go for Wham.
Do we know what his final set card is?
No, that's the big
Yeah.
surprise. Because it could be a Super Poly. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, that's like the big kind of comeback play that he could make here.
I think that could be the Super Poly. I think that's maybe the only thing that would make sense here. Like a way to resolve this Chimera. If not, I would be surprised.
This is huge. This is the time to do it.
Okay, might as well. Similar
thing.
Still really well played, a way to resolve this Chimera.
Yeah, no, this is oh, okay, just
yeah, gonna resolve, banish both the Chimera and the Lord from his opponent field. This will allow him to resolve the Chimera, destroying the skill drain potentially.
So he has managed to navigate into the out there. That's really cool with the interaction with Chimera there, being able to dodge essentially with that banishment. But my only question is there any reason we didn't do this maybe before passing turn? I think our judges are just clarifying the chain links here.
Yeah, they're just saying that he was supposed to special summon first and then resolve, but yeah. He's gonna just destroy Chu, and it's both the skill drain and big welcome. Well played by Sophiane.
Well, it's worked out despite the, not sort of pulling the trigger a bit earlier and waiting until the end phase. It seems like it's...
yeah. And now Dinh-Kha is left with Ariana and a face-down card. Really needs something good off the top. Imagine he keeps those sphere modes and he just picks up one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an option potentially here. Although I think after checking this,
really down to the wire. This most likely gonna be one of the last.
Yeah, no, we said this was turn 2 was the last turn, but here we are. We managed to pull it back, and Dinh-Kha is praying that whatever he drew right now is something to help here. We've got Ariana
the last
already.
Ooh, and there is a
skill drain.
second skill drain. Interesting.
Okay, so establishing this again. And
Now, yeah, we are just gonna go for this line to bounce back the Ariana.
So, do you think we preemptively skill drain to... I don't know, I mean, I guess it's to prevent the Drix Stapile, but I mean, you'd be able to bounce anyway, right? If you
Yeah,
wanted
he
to.
was probably playing around the effect of Cartesia, I wanna guess, because if that's set up, but this can... What can happen is basically you can use the Cartesia, the Stapelia, then chain the Jade so that the Cartesia resolve and like kind of... I don't know. Oh my
still
god!
super
He picked
pulverization!
up the Super Poly! No way! The last card picked up another Super
Starving
Poly!
Venom.
Oh my!
The double dark target. Can't respond here. Will try and break. Oh, you actually can't
Yeah.
summon back the
Yeah, because
the
you
Jester.
cannot negate it.
Yeah.
What a top deck! That's crazy. What a top deck from Dinh-Kha. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. All right, we've managed to crawl ourselves back into this. Set a final card here.
Yeah.
It's the big
Which you
welcome.
just searched. That's... What is top deck? Oh, wow. He drew 3 Super Polys in his other semi-final, and that costed him the match. He drew 2 here.
Was the Mirror Jade not able to destroy this in the end phase?
No, because it was special summoned, right? Back
Yeah.
from the grave,
Ah,
so it wasn't
yes.
properly summoned, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's correct. It wasn't fusioned.
Yeah, oh.
Honestly.
Brutal. What a top deck.
Huge! And to be able to
Yeah.
reestablish the skill drain here with the Starving Venom.
Back to square one. Yeah.
It's literally just tit for tat in this game here as we've going back and forth. Both players here just at the highest level of this gameplay, really picking apart each other's field here. Thank you for that, Marcello.
Back to square one we are, and now it's Sophiane trying to close this one out.
And notice that
Let's
we've
see.
added back Banishment as well, so we're still not even like completely out here. We've still got options.
A face down card with only 4,000 life points remaining. This is getting scary, and what seemed as if Dinh-Kha was gonna lose this one out, he might incredibly come back.
Every single turn we feel like the
Wow.
other player is going to lose, and here they are. Back at it again. A set
have
card from Sophiane.
Another Super Poly maybe from Sophiane, a cheeky one. you know?
Really super polymerization in the
a
matchup
sneaky,
here.
sneaky Super Poly, or wow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Heroes were going to be the deck to fuse this much, but it looks like Labyrinth is your
Attacking
new-
and destroying the Tragedy. He can activate the big welcome. Let's see.
4,000 wouldn't be enough to close out the game shot here, but that is still in Sophiane's... okay,
I think he passed.
Yeah, I know, he's going for that Banishment now.
Yep. Banishment gonna be really strong here. Bringing back... What is an Aluber? He might be out of targets then, but I mean, what makes sense is that you can keep the Tragedy in the graveyard just to get access to the Branded Fusion and OTK next turn, I guess.
Yeah.
So, again, a back and forth one here with the Banishment resolving and then the big welcome, bringing back the Lady. Or actually the welcome, yeah.
Yeah, regular welcome here being activated to special
This is
summon.
still a close one, because now the big welcome in the graveyard can be used as a compulsory like effect.
He drew Cosmic.
Did he?
I don't know. I saw a spell.
Okay.
Cosmic,
I don't know.
He's
wow.
excited, he's excited. He's drawing, he's using Tragedies,
This is
retrieving the
gonna
Branded
be
Fusion,
really close.
sets it, activates it.
And there is an
Ash
Ash
Blossom!
from Dinh-Kha. Wow!
Oh, that's not quite the joyous
Oh
spring Sophiane
my.
expected. It is Ash finally being utilized
What
in
an
this game.
ending for this third and fourth playoff. Crazy match.
All right, it resolves, hits the graveyard. That is going to be the end of Branded Fusion this
He
turn.
drew Cosmic.
There is a Cosmic.
There is a
indeed
Cosmic, but he needs a way to play afterwards. What is the rest of the hand? He does have Cosmic in his hand.
No, this is like absolutely phenomenal. We've seen multiple skill drains resolved. There's a Cosmic in the hand here. Ash Blossom comes down on this Branded Fusion. We've seen dodges of the Chimera pops. This is unbelievable.
And a Foolish Burial here. Interesting. Let's see. He has gone through a lot of his resources looking for other copies. It seems as if he goes for the Mercurier. Okay. If he has a way to banish it now. One of those bestials.
Bestial to banish the
wow.
Mercurier. Okay.
Goes for the bestials, get the Mercurier effect, and with the Cosmic to potentially get rid of the skill drain, he only needs to pay attention to the big welcome in the graveyard, which, as mentioned, can't bounce back to the end one of his monsters.
Okay, normal summons Albaz, change the discard,
But as
Cosmic
you can
Cycle,
see here, wow.
banish skill drain, chain the trap card, bounce the Albaz, will not fuse as it's now in the hand.
He might have forgot about the big welcome being in the graveyard, got a little too excited there.
Potentially, but I mean, we had to force it out at some point, I suppose. Skill drain taking himself down to 3,000 life points. Not a pretty number, by the way. We are dangerously low here.
And it seems as if he did not manage to compete here. And with the welcome set, I feel like this is back to Dinh-Kha's favor, who can now just attack over, activate the welcome, and be in a great spot. What a match this is being.
Straight to the battle phase, welcome flipped here.
Yeah, this is crazy. You can get the barrier if you're not able to OTK here.
Oh, he kept Sphere Mode in.
Yeah?
Oh, he kept it in, right, okay.
The risk.
And the D barrier is the card, I think, of choice here that we're looking at.
I think you get for
yes,
the barrier.
Yes, it is Dimensional Barrier. Oh, that is a massive stop here for Dinh-Kha. I don't know what Sophiane can really do versus a dim barrier. That's the issue. It's
this is a crazy
back and forth, but
maybe yes.
Is there more? Like, what else could we do?
Unevenly matched to just take some time. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
He started
yeah,
this game,
he went
right?
first.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a.
Might not have it in here, but kept Cosmic despite that. I think that's probably still a card you want to keep going second. Dim barrier comes down on the standby. It looks like.
Gonna activate the lady, set a big welcome right away.
All right, firing off this Dim barrier immediately to play around anything that maybe Cartesia can do.
Of this one, Cartesia is special summoned. Is there really anything you can do here? He passes back.
Passes back.
Which means that obviously Dinh-Kha needs to pay attention to this one and only interruption from his opponent, but he's just moments away from potentially winning the game with the Lovely being activated here. It seems as if this is all over and Dinh-Kha will be the directly. One.
Is it? Is it over?
He picks up his cards.
Oh,
wow.
Dinh-Kha Bui has successfully secured his
crazy
World Championship
match. Best match hands down from the entire playoff. The emotions are crazy. A crowd of friends of Dinh-Kha have just jumped over the stage, just hugging him. What a match this was, honestly.
I'm exhausted watching that.
I'm too old. Honestly, I can't take this. I can't take this.
Yeah.
This is amazing, amazing stuff from both of these players. And obviously, commiserations go to Sophiane. He gave out his best, played an extremely well semi-final.
Both players played that out extremely well. What a beautiful match that was. That was a huge back and forth despite the skill drain. Cutting off a lot of that, a lot of his plays, still managing to mount a comeback here, hitting with the Guardian Chimera dodge, that was insane.
Wow.
Top decks the Cosmic Cyclone, and
but
then
Dim
barrier.
The top deck super poly from Dinh-Kha.
Super polymerization.
That was crazy from both sides. Wow. And at the very end, as mentioned, sometimes that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! And a single card that is super polymerization costs Dinh-Kha Bui his first chance for the World Championship, drawing 3 copies of the card when he didn't do anything. Here, he top decks the second copy to get his ticket to Japan.
The duel,
wow.
Yep. Off to Japan he goes. I'm sure he can already taste the sushi.
Absolutely, absolutely.
An incredible opportunity now.
And what a team we are assembling for the World Championship here. Obviously, Dinh-Kha Bui, which receives the applause from the crowd. YCS champion, national champion. Could he become a world champion?
Team
Only
Europe
time will tell.
Man.
I agree.
Team Europe, oh boy.
I agree. Everyone should be scared. But guys, remember that we still have to find out who the remaining 4 participants coming from the European Championship will be qualifying for Japan. Maybe some of them coming from the playoff, maybe not. We'll see. And obviously, guys, thank you once again for being with us. This was the last match from the playoffs, but now let's go back, keep watching, and we'll be back with more action live from Utrecht.